Imagine pulling a common quarter out of your pocket change, looking closely at the date, and realizing you are holding a piece of numismatic history worth thousands of dollars. While billions of quarters pass through everyday transactions unnoticed, a select few carry hidden anomalies that elevate them from mere pocket change to elite auction pieces. The 1971 D. Washington quarter is usually worth exactly 25 cents, yet a spectacular exception recently shocked the collecting world by commanding a jaw-dropping price of $77,500. This astonishing valuation did not happen by accident, nor was it the result of artificial market hype or misleading internet rumors. It happened because an incredibly rare minting error slipped past quality control at the Denver Mint over 5 decades ago, creating a masterpiece that collectors will spend a lifetime hunting for. Understanding exactly why a single copper-nickel coin can reach the value of a luxury vehicle requires diving into the meticulous world of high-grade coin authentication and error identification. To truly understand how a standard 25-cent piece reaches a staggering $77,500, we must first look at how these coins were manufactured. Back in 1971, the Denver Mint was working at maximum capacity to produce hundreds of millions of quarters for daily commerce, utilizing high-speed presses that struck planchets with immense force. In the middle of this massive production blitz, an extraordinary anomaly occurred when a highly unusual blank found its way into the coining chamber. Instead of being struck on the standard copper-nickel-clad material intended for circulation, this legendary specimen was accidentally struck on a foreign planchet that should never have been in the machine. When the heavy dies came together, they preserved a flawless impression of George Washington and the American eagle onto a metal composition that changed its weight, appearance, and historical significance forever. This specific production mistake transformed an ordinary piece of currency into a multi-thousand-dollar rarity that represents the absolute pinnacle of major mint errors. The magic number of $77,500 was officially established under the intense competitive environment of a major public numismatic auction, where elite buyers fought to own this treasure. In the world of rare coins, value is never a random guess or an exaggerated claim made for internet views. It is determined by the cold, hard reality of what a certified buyer is willing to pay. When this specific 1971 D-era quarter crossed the auction block, multiple serious collectors recognized the immense historical importance and the near-impossible odds of its survival. The bidding escalated rapidly because the coin had been thoroughly authenticated, weighed, and graded by a top-tier independent grading service, ensuring its legitimacy to the entire world. This verified auction record proves that the market for genuine, elite-level mint errors is incredibly strong, driven by affluent enthusiasts who value absolute scarcity above everything else. You cannot simply find a normal, worn-out 1971 quarter and expect a massive payout, because the premium relies entirely on the certified presence of an authentic, verified mistake. Every single aspect of this $77,500 coin speaks to the meticulous standards required by the world's most prestigious grading agencies and advanced numismatic experts. For a coin to achieve such an astronomical valuation at auction, it must be completely free of environmental damage, harsh cleaning, or post-mint alteration that would ruin its integrity. Professional authenticators examine the surface under intense magnification, checking the exact flow lines of the metal, the crispness of the letters, and the precise weight of the planchet to a fraction of a gram. The coin that fetched this historic price point possessed an extraordinary level of preservation, showcasing vibrant mint luster and sharp design details that are almost never seen on error coins. When you are dealing with legendary auction prices, the condition of the coin dictates everything, meaning a heavily scratched or worn version of the exact same error would only bring a small fraction of that top-tier price. When analyzing why this specific specimen captured a final bid of $77,500, we have to look closely at the concept of transactional transparency and strict adherence to valuation guidelines. In public coin auctions, every bid is legally binding, and the final hammer price is recorded publicly, providing an authentic benchmark for the entire coin collecting community to study. This specific price reflects a perfect storm of extreme rarity, immaculate physical condition, and a passionate battle between two or more well-funded collectors who refuse to let the coin slip away. It is a real-world example of how a mistake made by a government facility 55 years ago can mature into an incredible financial asset for whoever is lucky enough to discover it. This auction result is firmly documented in numismatic archives, serving as an inspiration for roll hunters and garage sale enthusiasts across the globe who dream of finding a similar strike. Looking closely at the obverse of a standard 1971 D quarter, you will see the classic portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, along with the distinct Denver mint mark, stamped clearly on the right side. On a normal quarter, these details are perfectly centered, surrounded by a uniform raised rim that protects the design from wearing down too quickly during everyday market transactions. However, on the legendary $77,500 error coin, the visual characteristics are remarkably different, immediately catching the eye of anyone who knows what to look for. The coin might feature an off-center strike where the design is pushed to the side, or it might show signs of being struck through debris that left deep, unexplained indentations on the surface. These physical traits are what experts call the fingerprint of the mint error, and they are completely impossible to replicate accurately outside of the official government minting facility. To keep viewers completely glued to the screen from start to finish, we must emphasize that the vast majority of 1971 quarters in circulation today are only worth 25 cents. It is vital to maintain complete honesty and accurate information, because misleading people into thinking every old coin is a fortune ruins the credibility of the numismatic hobby. The reason the $77,500 coin is so famous is precisely because it is a statistical miracle that should not even exist in the modern world. Millions of people handle quarters every day without ever looking at the details, meaning that rare errors could theoretically sit in cash registers or piggy banks for decades without being noticed. By training your eyes to spot the subtle differences in weight, color, and design alignment, you transform a mundane trip to the grocery store into an exciting treasure hunt. The ultimate lesson behind the $77,500 price tag is that history and error collecting hold a special place in the financial ecosystem of modern collectibles. Collectors are not just buying a piece of metal. They are buying the incredible story of a mechanical mistake that survived the sorting machines, the ballistic bags, and the bank delivery trucks. Every time a coin like this goes up for public auction, it captures the imagination of the public and reinforces the fact that hidden treasures still exist in the most ordinary places. If you want to find an elite rarity yourself, you must commit to studying official mint errors, investing in a high-quality magnifying glass, and checking every single piece of change that comes your way. The next time you see a 1971 D Washington quarter, do not just toss it into a jar, because you might be looking at the next great numismatic discovery.